What's going on, everybody? Welcome to today's live stream. Hope you guys are having a beautiful, beautiful Tuesday, November 18th. I can't believe it. November 18th. We're so close to the end of the year, right? We're pretty much right in the middle, actually, right in the middle of Q4, right? This is what us Amazon sellers live for. And I hope you guys are crushing it. I hope you guys are absolutely killing it this Q4. I'm hitting record numbers in my business. I know a lot of you guys, maybe who are selling books and maybe focused on used items, you might not be having the best Q4 because, Amazon's been making some changes with their buy box and different things going on. But I'd love to know, drop a comment, how's your Q4 doing? Because I know a lot of people who follow me are selling used items. A lot of you guys are selling new, doing eBay to Amazon, Amazon to Amazon flip. So I'd love to know how your Q4 is doing. But yeah, welcome to today's stream. Again, smack dab right in the middle of Q4. And I've got a really cool presentation that I'm going to be putting together or sharing with you guys that I put together today. Pretty much breaking down how I made over $100,000 profit already this year. And the year's not even over yet. So going to be breaking down like the 10 key takeaways that I want to share that I think can help you guys to be able to hit that $100,000 per year profit mark, how to grow your business to six figures and beyond. And I'm just going to be sharing a lot of kind of what I've done, key takeaways and tips and whatnot. But we're going to get started in probably 3 or 4 minutes. So if you are here watching live right now, drop a comment, say hello. And I'm drinking a nice CBD drink, right? Little CBD drink from a local brewery, Valley Brewery, in my area. So yeah, enjoying this. Going to hang out with you guys for maybe about 45 minutes to 60 minutes, answer some questions, share some tips, and I hope you guys are doing great. Mary says, not too good, not balling out. What's going on, Mary? What's holding you back? I'd be curious to know. Michelle, hey, Steve, it's been brutal, but hanging in there. So I'm assuming the folks who are struggling are probably just selling used books, I would assume. Is that what you're selling, Mary, Michelle? Curious what you guys are selling, what you guys are flipping, what's your model? But yeah, recently I made some videos about this, but yeah, Amazon's been back at it again with the used buy box. A lot of FBA sellers are really sharing that their sales are down big time, that their sales are suffering, that they're not winning the buy box. This is their third time doing it. I don't sell used anymore. I'm 100% new. So the new buy box it's working out fantastic right now. There's no issues with that. I'm hitting record sales, but I know for a lot of people who are selling used, it's pretty tough right now, especially if you're FBA. It seems like the buy box is going to a lot of merchant fulfilled sellers. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot of changes going on with Amazon right now, for sure. 100%. SDC Deals says Black Friday is heating up, going to be crazy sales hitting soon. Well, it depends. What are you selling, SDC? I'm curious. Michelle says, yes, books mostly, and then started using Replay Catcher to diversify. Yeah, I mean, Replay Catcher, great way to be able to source items from eBay to flip on Amazon. I said it before and I'll say it again. I think there's a really, really big opportunity for a lot of used sellers to start flipping new items, right? Not necessarily from eBay to Amazon. That's what I do. But I don't know what's going to happen in the future, right? With what Amazon's doing. I don't know if they're just not going to be giving the used buy box to FBA sellers. Maybe they're going to ban the whole used category one day. Who knows? I don't know. They did it to toys recently. They don't even let you sell used toys anymore. So, I mean, if all your eggs are in the Amazon basket, I think right now is a good time to diversify, unless you want to keep playing this game where they keep messing with your money and keep giving all the sales to the merchant sellers if you're an FBA seller. So yeah, scary times for a lot of used booksellers right now. But what are you going to do? You can do the same thing over and over again, or you can try something different and diversify. I think, I think it's smart to diversify, especially like new DVDs, new CDs, new video games, new board games. A lot of money to be made. And again, the new buy box is perfectly fine right now. Mary says, yes, used, new books, DVDs, CDs. Awesome. Yeah, start experimenting with some new DVDs and new CDs for sure. SDC, clothing and shoes. The returns are a pain, but the demand is very high. Hey, and if your ROI is high enough, SDC, then it's perfectly fine. Like my return rate over the last year is over 10%, and I'm still making 6 figures profit because my ROI is so high. And I know that's the same with a lot of clothing and shoes. All right, guys. So I'm going to be looking down at my phone, answering some questions as well, but today, I want to talk about how I made $100,000 plus profit already this year, well into the 100,000s in profit in 2025. And I want to share the 10 big takeaways. So this is a screenshot from today over the last year. So in the last 12 months, I've sold 6,727 items for $695,000. And my average selling price per flip is $112. Okay. So I've sold just shy of 7,000 products for about $700,000. And the average order that I'm flipping is over $100, $112. So as you can see, I'm doing this, I'm living this. There's a lot of people who are, not getting results right now on Amazon, and they like to point fingers at the YouTubers and say, they're not doing it. They're just selling courses. They're not actually making money. And I would agree. A lot of them are just making money from their courses, from their softwares, maybe from their coaching, from their events. But I can tell you right now, I'm doing this. I'm living this. And I've been selling on Amazon for over 10 years. Okay. So this is my results. You can see like literally the dates and everything here. So I'm living this, I'm doing this, and I've made over 6 figures profit so far this year. Okay. The last 30 days, I hit record numbers over the last 10 years. I've never made more money in my entire life in a 30-day period, ever in my Amazon business. Right. And a lot of people might ask, well, Steve, what makes you the most money? Is it software? Is it courses? Is it real estate? What is it? I make the most money from my Amazon business. The last 30 days, I sold over 1,100 items, 1,183 items to be specific, for $134,000. And my average order was $126 the last 30 days. So if you take a look, this is from October 17th to November 17th. Okay. $134,000. It's crazy. It's absolutely mind-blowing. When you're seeing a lot of people out in the community saying there's no money to be made, saying there's no opportunity, saying I'm done, it's because they're not doing things differently. And I made a decision 5 years ago that I'm not going to continue down the path of just going to thrift stores and garage sales and library sales, which is perfectly fine to do that. But if you want more, you've got to think outside the box, which I'm going to talk more about. And I'll share exactly what I'm doing. This isn't all profit. I love when people are like, you're sharing your sales, $134,000. That's not all profit. Obviously, it's not all profit, right? Obviously. So the last 30 days, this is the last 28 days. I did 127,000. This is on Seller Board, which I'll talk more about. Even after getting 133 items returned, I had 133 items refunded. Over 10% of my items were returned. I still made $32,378 gross profit. And after paying my virtual assistants, my prep centers, dealing with the returns, $26,440 just from October 19th to November 17th. Okay. So it's crazy. There is a lot of money to be made with what I'm doing. I'm going to share what I'm doing. I'm going to be sharing some tips. And just want to let you guys know I'm in the game. I'm doing it. About Stuff 2738 says, any good ways to get ungated for board games? Where do you go? 100 units. I mean, Kohl's, Target, Walmart, they're still accepting a lot of those retailers, but sometimes you're going to have to try 6, 7, 8 times. But Steve, Show your account health. Everybody in the community says, if you do what you do, right? And I'll talk more about what I do. I mean, I do eBay to Amazon flipping. You're going to be gone in a week, 2 weeks max, a month. It's been 5 years, guys. Almost $3 million in sales, buying items on eBay, flipping on Amazon. 134,000 in the last 30 days. This is a screenshot from my account this morning. 0 IP complaints, 0 customer complaints, 0 food and safety complaints, right? I don't sell grocery. 0 restricted product violations, customer complaints. It's 100% perfect, 100% perfect. And that's an exact photo of me this morning. Steve raking in the matrix, raking profit in the matrix. But you guys got to stop listening to the phony balonies in the community. Stop listening to the people in the community just selling programs, just selling courses, not even selling. Stop listening to the people who have been doing the same thing for 10 years straight, not making any money. It's crazy. Yeah, we got Aaron in the house who's doing more than me. Big shout out to Sooner State picker, Aaron Worley. How do you still have an account, Aaron? You're doing more than me. So today, let's dive into the 10 key takeaways that have allowed me to earn over $100,000 profit on Amazon the last 12 months, over 26,000 in the last 30 days, working about 1 hour per week in my business. So takeaway number 1 is you've got to find a way to be able to source items in abundance that can make you a lot of money. The problem is if you're just going to thrift stores, if you're just going to library sales, you're not going to be able to find as many products as you want to be able to grow to do a 200,000, 300, 5,000. There are some people doing it, but the reason I do eBay to Amazon is because I can source unlimited amounts of products. Literally, I can spend as much money as I want pretty much every single day in my business. A lot of people who go to thrift stores, library sales, garage sales, they buy what they can buy. They get what they can get because there's not unlimited amounts of deals, right? When you're sourcing from eBay.com, there's an unlimited amount of inventory that you can source. Now, granted, you're going to have to filter through products. You're going to have to make best offers. There's different strategies to be able to source items. But for me, eBay to Amazon has allowed me to scale because I can source an unlimited amount of inventory. For you, that might be Amazon to Amazon flipping, maybe using BookMine, or maybe you're blessed to have a honey hole in your area, right? The point is, if you want to make 6 figures profit, you need a consistent source of high profit products that you can flip that doesn't consume all of your time. And I'm curious, leave a comment down below. I want to know right now, and I'm going to wait a second. How are you sourcing your inventory? I want to know, how are you currently sourcing your inventory in your business? And I'm going to wait a second. I want to hear how everybody is sourcing right now for Amazon. Thrift stores, garage sales, eBay. For me, I'm buying everything from eBay to Amazon. I'm 100% Amazon FBA. I'm 100% eBay. I use a tool called Replun Catcher to source everything off of eBay. But I want to know, how are you guys sourcing? So Aaron says Replun Catcher, online, Amazon, and eBay. So Bill, you're sourcing on Amazon. Bill, are you using a BookMine for Amazon? And what are you using for eBay? All Things Happy says the Benz in China. Interesting. Are you sourcing from Alibaba? Clint, how are you sourcing off of eBay? Are you manually sourcing? Are you guys using Keepa? Dirt Sports says 100% from wholesale distributors only. And only new products. Interesting. How are the margins for you with wholesale? I give a lot of people a hard time wholesale just because I notice a lot of people in the community doing wholesale. It seems like they're making like 5% margins, 10% margins. A lot of them are having to have like warehouses and whatnot. But I'm curious. There are a couple people I know doing wholesale who are absolutely killing it, but they've got these little secret little niches. I'm curious if you've got a secret little niche or what. So, yep, Bill is using BookMine for Amazon, which, guys, big shout out to BookMine. Great software for books. Bill, how are your book sales going with the buy box? I'm curious. Clint, 100% replay catcher, baby. You guys are doing great with the software. Thanks, Clint. Margins are not that great, 25 to 33% gross margin. So what do you mean by gross margin? Like, what's your actual net profit at the end of the day? Like with eBay to Amazon, my net profit after everything probably comes out to like anywhere from like 18 to 22%, maybe 23%. I'm talking net after returns, after paying virtual assistants, after, getting scammed by customers. I'm curious. Net. Beach Myrtle says, good morning, Steve. At first, I was gated for 90% of the books. I took your advice and kept sending as much as I could. Now I'm gated 50%. Yeah, 100% normal. Guys, if you're new to Amazon, you're going to be gated on almost everything. But the more you sell, they're going to slowly ungate you in more and more stuff because Amazon doesn't trust anybody nowadays. Amazon's a pain in the ass. Anyone who tells you Amazon is, oh, Amazon's so amazing, it's the same as it was in 2017, 2018. It's a lie. I'm telling you guys, I'm incentivized to tell you guys Amazon's amazing. I'm incentivized because I have courses, software. I'm incentivized to say, oh, it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. But I'm telling you guys, a lot of people in the community are full of you-know-what. Amazon's harder than ever. Amazon's more challenging. Amazon has more rules. Amazon has more restrictions. Amazon has more BS. Now, I say all of that by also saying there's still more money than ever to be made. There's a ton of money. But just like, Beach Myrtle said, in the beginning, you're going to be gated in almost everything. So don't sell on Amazon if you're looking for easy, quick money. Amazon's harder than ever. But if you could fight through those first 3 to 6 months, get to 12-month period, there's so much money because it's so hard now, everybody quits. The people in the comments right now, like Bill, Robert Baker, big shout out to Robert Baker, 6-figure eBay to Amazon flipper, probably 7 figures. I don't know. He's doing more than I am. I'm pretty sure. The people who've been in it for a while, including myself, we're making more money than ever, but it's harder than ever. I'm going to be honest with you guys. And nobody wants to say that. All these people on YouTube, everyone wants to sell you the dream. I don't want to sell people the dream. I want to tell people the truth. It's hard. It's a tough business now. Key takeaway number 2. And this goes back to the point. If you want to do 6 figures in profit on Amazon, you've got to focus on what you're able to sell, or you have to sell more and more and more until Amazon ungates you, right? The reality is, I'm going to be 100% transparent with you. If you're brand new, don't do eBay to Amazon. Focus on thrift stores, library sales, build credibility with Amazon, because if you're brand new, Amazon's going to gate you and restrict you on almost everything. So you've got to sell more and more and more. Sell 20 books, 50 books, 100 books, 300 books, 100 DVDs, right? Get ungated. Go to christianbook.com, buy DVDs, get ungated. The more you sell, they're going to start to ungate you in more publishers and more brands. They're going to trust you more, right? The more you sell, the more they trust you. And I'll tell you this right now, for anyone here who's been selling on Amazon for a couple of years, if you're grandfathered into certain brands or you're ungated in certain brands that are like restricted now, there's so much money to be made flipping those items from eBay to Amazon, okay? And you don't need to be ungated in everything to make a shit ton of money, okay? A lot of people think, and a lot of people say, I don't want to sell on Amazon because I got to get restricted. I got to get ungated in 100, 200, 300 brands. That's 100% not true. If you're doing eBay to Amazon, if you could get ungated in 5 to 10 really, really solid brands, right? And I'm going to go into my sales really quick, and I'll give some example of some brands that I'm selling that are maybe a little bit harder to get ungated in, but if you could get ungated in these brands, you can make a ton of money. Toner brands, right? Like Lexmark or Canon. If you get ungated in Brother, you can make 6 figures in profit per year just selling Brother, right? Kohler, that's a tool brand. Ton of money you could be made. Transformers, if you could sell Transformers, tons of money with those toys. Lutron, another fantastic brand. Lego, another great brand. If you could get ungated in Lego, which you just go to lego.com, freaking ton of money. Selling Disney, ton of money. Star Wars, ton of money. I'm just going through some of my sales. Hasbro, ton of money. Yeah, sold a Hasbro Star Wars game today, paid 75, sold it for $195.99. Sony, tons of money. So you've got to stop buying into this nonsense, okay? Of I've got to be ungated in everything to make money. That's not true. You can literally make 6 figures profit per year getting ungated in 5 to 10 really good brands. Is it going to take work? Yes. Is it going to take money? Yes. Is it going to take effort? Yes. Are you going to get ungated, or are you going to get an invoice and submit it 6, 7 times and they say no to you? And then on the 8th time they say yes? Yes. Yes. Clint, McFarlane is good. McFarlane is fantastic. Let's see here. Dirt Sports. Sometimes I'll get a hot lead on a product line that gives me a lot better margin, but usually doesn't last more than a few months. Competitors will notice and flood the market. Yeah, it's a completely different game. I don't know anything about wholesale, so I won't even talk on it. Wow, Dirt Sport. Yeah, your net profit's better than some other people that I know doing wholesale. Takeaway number 3, if you want to make 6 figures profit, you have 2 options. So say you're thinking about selling on Amazon, you want to build your business up to 6 figures in profit. You have 2 options to make 6 figures in profit. Number 1, you can sacrifice all your time because maybe you don't have a lot of money. So you got to spend all your time. Or if you're like me or Robert Baker or Aaron Worley, people in the comments who have built up a business, built up capital, built up money, you can actually spend your money to make you money instead of having to exchange your time. And I'll explain that. So option number 1, spend your time. If you want to make 6 figures profit, going to thrift stores, garage sales, library sales, flea markets, you can do it. Flea markets, you can do it. Pawn shops, consignment stores, right? Facebook Marketplace, sourcing locally. But you're going to spend 50 to 80 hours per week, right? Because if you don't have a lot of money, you've got to spend your time. Option number 2, if you've got capital and if you have obviously the skills and you've built up your knowledge base of reading Keepa charts, you're getting ungated, you know what you're doing with Amazon, you can leverage your capital like I'm doing to build a system with eBay to Amazon or Amazon to Amazon. Or of course you could do wholesale or traditional online arbitrage, but I think that's 10 times harder just because it's a completely different game. A lot of these online arbitrage sellers that you see doing 7 figures in sales, they're not showing you the $300,000 in debt. A lot of these wholesalers aren't showing you all their debt, their warehouse, all their physical employees. They're not showing you their, 10% margins. I mean, look at the video that, what's his name? Who's the guy who just quit wholesale? Corey Gannum. He made a video. He was a big wholesale influencer. He made a video recently exposing his business, saying he's quitting, he's out, he's going to go on to bigger and better opportunities. He had, I think, a 5% net margin right after 8 years. So it's a difficult business, right? Big shout out to Corey. I love Corey as a person. I hate the business model. I actually went through his wholesale challenge. Amazing. Great teacher. I can't stand that business model. Compared to eBay to Amazon or Amazon to Amazon flips, yeah, there's more risk with eBay to Amazon. You don't have invoices, but the amount of risk with wholesale and traditional online arbitrage, the amount of price tanking, just like what's his name said in the comments, Dirt Sports 777. A lot of these deals are good deals, and then people find out about it and it's crap. What I love about eBay to Amazon is everybody thinks it sucks. Everybody thinks you're going to get kicked off. Everybody thinks you're going to get banned, right? Like Robert Baker was saying in the eBay to Amazon group the other day, everyone in the Amazon forums thinks that we're lunatics. Good. Stay away. Stay away. There's no money with eBay to Amazon, right? There's none. Stay away. Do what you're doing, right? Make your 5, 7, 10, 12% margins and feel safe. If the world ever goes to what and, the freaking furnace goes out in your house, you've got those valuable invoices to be able to burn for heat. Takeaway number 4, if you have the profits to invest, build a team. Build a team to support you. One of the things that I would credit to my success, right, of making 6 figures profit per year in my Amazon business is I have a team that helps me and supports me, right? A lot of people might think, how is Steve making YouTube videos and running Replay Catcher and softwares and a personal brand and different investments and this and that? Like, how are you doing all of this? This guy must be working 80 hours a week. I don't. I don't. I have a team that helps me and supports me. And I'm curious down below in the comments, is anybody here working with virtual assistants, or are you a one-man, one-woman show? I'm curious. Anyone here have virtual assistants that helps you in your business? How long did it take you to get positive cash flow when you started? About a year, maybe a little bit longer. Yeah, about a year of having to reinvest back into the business until I started paying myself, Clint. But I have 5 virtual assistants in my eBay to Amazon business. I hire all of them from the Philippines, and I use a website called Onlinejobs.PH. This is a fantastic website. I highly recommend, if you're looking for someone to help you in your business, to use this website. Looks like Clint has 1 full-time VA and using a prep center. Awesome. Bigano says, I have 70 to 80 DVDs to sell, not sealed, used. Very cool. I don't sell used DVDs anymore, but there's plenty of money to be sold with used DVDs for sure. SDC deals, no IP issues with those brands. So the deal is, if you're going to do eBay to Amazon or even thrifting, you can sell certain brands that are risky, but not every ASIN within a brand is going to be risky. What I like to do is, I call it flying under the radar. We're going after items that are discontinued. We're going after products that are selling 1 to 5 to 10 times per month. The brands don't care about them. They're discontinued. The Keepa charts are nice. There's a history of sellers. There's no steep declines. The brand isn't on the listing. There isn't heat on the listing. There's maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 sellers. These items are hard to come across, but on eBay, you can find them all the time. So what are the number 1 reasons why most Amazon sellers never hit the $100,000 per year in profit mark? Is because all the weight of the business lies on their shoulders. And if they're not working, the business makes $0. Who here feels like that? Who here feels like, crap, if I'm not working in the business, if I'm not sourcing, if I'm not listing, if I'm not unboxing items, if I'm not shipping, if I'm not repricing, if I'm not doing everything in the business either makes no money or slowly declines. And you might say to yourself, well, that's not true, Steve, because I'm FBA. I buy all my products and I ship it to FBA, and then, I take time off. But the truth is, if you don't keep feeding the beast, your business dies. One of the reasons people aren't hitting the goals they want in their business is because the whole entire business is on their shoulders. Like I said, if they're not listing, if they're not sourcing, if they're not working in the business dies. And that's the way my business used to be until I made a bunch of changes and I started to hire virtual assistants to essentially help me in my business. And I'm curious, does anybody here have virtual assistants? All Things Happy says, 1 woman, but I do pay my sister $100 for 5 hours every week or to help. I probably pay her too much. Hey, it's your sister, right? But if she's doing a good job, there's nothing wrong with that. So the deal is, when you hire and you train and you build a team, you're essentially cloning yourself. And that's what I've done in my business. This could take anywhere from 3 to 6 to 12 months, but it's the best. So I literally clone myself about 5 times in my business. And this is my team that I have right now in my eBay to Amazon flipping businesses. So I've sold over about $700,000 last year, made over 6 figures profit. So I have 2 full-time virtual assistants in the Philippines who source for me. So they have a salary of $5 per hour plus incentives. I have 1 part-time VA who reprices for me. I have a part-time VA who does all my bookkeeping for me. And I have a admin VA who does all my back-end stuff, stranded inventory, high pricing errors, opening up cases, dealing with all the back-end stuff that I don't want to do. And a lot of the stuff that I don't even have knowledge of anymore, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, pretty much where my business is today is I could stop working for 6 months and the business is going to keep going. Now I'm having to spend my money and I'm having to check the KPIs and make sure, the refund rates aren't getting out of control and making sure, people are doing their job, so on and so forth. But when you build a team that you trust, you build a team that you take care of. Just this month, I gave both of my virtual assistants who sourced for me $500 bonuses each. $500 bonuses. My sourcing team made more than 95% of people in the Philippines just in the last 30 days. They actually got paid over $1,500 each the last 30 days because I had an incentive program where if they spent a certain amount of money and if we made a certain amount of money in our business, I want my team to win together. I don't want to just be the guy who is making a crap ton of money and then my team is slaving away, not making a lot of money. So I set up a program with my team that if I hit certain goals, if I made a certain amount of money, they were going to win with me. So my team is ecstatic. They're just super pumped up and grateful. And yeah, this is my team. And we actually are done sourcing. I just posted in my Facebook group today that the team actually isn't sourcing for the rest of the year now. So we're taking off the next 6 weeks and they're getting paid. They're still going to run the business and manage the business, but the sourcing VAs, they do some other stuff. Like they work with my prep center and different things, but they're also getting 6 weeks of pretty much paid vacation as well. So yeah, this is my team right now and super powerful. Yep. Awesome. So key takeaway number 5, I highly recommend for anybody doing Amazon to Amazon flips or eBay to Amazon, once you hit the 100 to 200 items sold per month, look into getting a prep center. Does everybody know what a prep center is here? So I just made a video about this a couple of days ago on my channel, and 500 days ago, I actually fired myself. And I fired, the gentleman that was coming to my house, prepping all my items for me. We both got fired and I hired a prep center. So a prep center is a third-party logistics company that will essentially prep all of your inventory. So I buy everything on eBay and I used to have it shipped to my house. And then I would open up all the boxes. I would list it all. I would ship it to FBA. Well, I'm working with a company called Little Owl Prep, and I hired them 500 days ago. And I'll tell you right now, it's been the best decision of my entire life, not having to see the products, not having to have the product shipped to my house, not having to list the products, not having to deal with returns, all these different issues. Little Owl Prep deals with all of it. So if you're selling anywhere between 100 and 200 items, and if you're doing eBay to Amazon or Amazon to Amazon flips, I don't know if this would work out if you're doing wholesale since the margins are so low. Traditional online arbitrage, I know a lot of people use prep centers if their margins are high enough. But that's why I love eBay to Amazon, because the margins are so stupid high that paying an extra $1 to $2 per item to have the items go to a prep center, have them receive it, unpackage it, list it, and ship it. It's been the best decision ever. I've had so much freedom in my life the last 500 days. I've been able to scale my business. I've been able to have less stress. I remember even honestly, like 500 days ago, before I had a prep center, my girlfriend, even I was pissed off. It was annoying having so much inventory come to the house and it was a mess. And I mean, I was having to work 20, 30 hours a week. Now I'm working 1 to 2 hours per month, to be honest with you, because there's nothing I have to do anymore. My team sources it. They ship it to the prep center. They manage the prep center process. The prep center ships it to FBA. I've got someone who reprices. I've got somebody who deals with the stranded inventory, so on and so forth. So, I mean, honestly, guys, I would highly recommend watching the video that I posted. You can go look it up. It's only got 287 views. And this is the new world we live in now, guys. Nobody wants to sell on Amazon. Nobody wants to deal with the challenges. Nobody wants to be able to, kick back making profits for 6 to 12 months. Everybody's looking for the quick cash, the quick money. In my YouTube channel, I mean, it is more dead than it's ever been in the whole history of Rake and Profit. And it's crazy. I'm making more money. I'm making more profit. I've got more freedom. The business is better than it's ever been. Of course, there's more challenges. It's harder than ever. But yeah, my course sales are at an all-time low. My YouTube video views are at an all-time low. I mean, it's a very interesting time right now to be an Amazon seller because the community's dying. The community is crying. The community is quitting. The community is giving up. The community is suffering. And then there's people like me doing better than ever. There's people like Robert Baker saying, well, he's talking about something else we'll get into, but I know he's hitting record numbers. Robert says, I'm the opposite in that I had a prep center. I hated not seeing the products, being hands-on. Yeah. And there's actually a lot of benefits to doing what Robert Baker is doing. Robert, are you FBA or are you merchant fulfilled? I don't want to misspeak. I think it's because you're an OJ YouTuber. Lots of them kind of lost all their views and engagement. Why do you think that I've lost all my views and engagement, Robert? I'm curious your thoughts. My thoughts are I've lost a lot of my views and engagement because what I'm doing requires a lot of capital. You don't see and touch the products. I feel like I've kind of outgrown a lot of my viewers, not in like an egotistical way, not in like I'm better than anybody, but I know it requires more capital. It's more niche. It's not as exciting as going to a thrift store. Amazon's a pain in the butt. People are getting kicked off. There's rule changes. There's restrictions. There's API updates. It's harder to list than it's ever been. I don't think people are confident in putting their time and money into a platform where they can kick you off for no reason. I just think that I'm in such a special little niche now where in even the sentiment around what I do, people think it's crazy. They think you're going to get kicked off. But the people who are in my little ecosystem, right? The people using Replay and Catcher, the people doing eBay to Amazon, there's hundreds of them who are absolutely killing it. But yeah, it's definitely interesting. But back to the prep centers, it's been the best decision of my life, but there is a learning curve. It's not for everybody. Just like Robert says, some people, they want to be able to touch the products, see the products, and you will lose some margin. And there are some issues with prep centers. It's not 100% perfect, but for me, it's been great for sure. Robert says, I don't know, to be honest. It could be due to a lot of things. During COVID times, e-commerce influencers got a huge boost of views due to people looking for new income streams. Yeah, for sure. 100%. 100%. Man, it's interesting. It's sometimes I think to myself, like, is it even worth creating the content anymore just because the views are down so much? But then I meet people like Robert and, people like Aaron and, hundreds of other people, right? Who I build relationships with, become friends. We have, Robert and I are, cracking jokes in the groups and different things. And it's like, maybe it's not about like being Mr. Popular and just, doing something. Like, I feel like I'm one of the few YouTubers who are actually making money and getting results and sharing my numbers and net profit. So I don't know. I still enjoy it. but sometimes I think to myself, should I spend so much time with the content? Is it really worth it? But it is what it is. Takeaway number 6. I'm 100% FBA, but I think that if you want to make $100,000 profit per year with less risk, I would highly recommend looking into being a merchant fulfilled seller. If you're willing to put in the time, if you're willing to have to see the products and touch the products and list the products yourself. I mean, especially nowadays, right? With all this BS going on with the buy box not being given to FBA sellers who are used. This doesn't apply to new. Like I said, the new buy box is perfect right now. Who knows, that could change in the future. But I think if you're willing to touch the products, if you're willing to put in the time and effort, if you're not looking for more of like a lifestyle freedom business like me, I think merchant fulfilled eBay to Amazon flipping is a huge opportunity right now. And I think there's way less liability as well, right? Now, I'm no expert with merchant fulfilled. I'm 100% honest. I don't do it. But I have a couple friends who are killing it with merchant fulfilling. And in my honest opinion, you have to invest a lot more money and take on much more risk with FBA. If you're going to do eBay to Amazon FBA, you're going to get scammed out of a lot of products. You're going to have lost shipments. You have to make sure you have a higher ROI and a higher profit because the returns, especially if you're going to do like electronics or tools, or office supplies, the return rates are really, really high. Customers on Amazon are very, very entitled, and they will buy an item from you that you pay $100 for. You sell it to them for $300. They'll buy it, they'll use it, they'll enjoy it. And if you're FBA, they can return it pretty much whenever they want and scam you. So Robert Baker, matter of fact, he posted a funny little comment in the Facebook group. I think it was yesterday saying, sometimes I hope that people are going to return the item back because he's probably charging like restocking fees or something like that. When you're FBA, it's so easy to get scammed, right? Customers will scam you over and over and over again. Matter of fact, I would have made double the profit. I would have made over $300,000 in profit over the last 12 months if it wasn't for all the Amazon customers scamming me. I make half of that, about 150,000 profit, because the customers FBA scam you over and over and over and over and over again. And I know some people are going to say, Steve, you got to be more positive. Like, you got to, some of my friends who have like software companies and friends of mine are going to say, Steve, like, you're not helping the community by like being negative. Guys, I'm at a point now where like, I don't want to sugarcoat things and kiss people's butts. Like, I'm going to just tell you the truth. Amazon FBA, there's a lot of money to be made, but it's a nasty little jungle now. And there's just a lot of just scams that occur, and Amazon doesn't care about you as a seller. All they care about is the customers. Now, if you understand that you're playing a certain game and you still want to win the game, you have to know the rules. And the rules are the customers could scam you over anything. They could get their money back pretty much over anything if you're FBA. That's why if you're a merchant fulfilled seller, you have a lot more protection. Now, I know the game. And that's why most of the items that I'm flipping now are 70%, 80%, 90% ROI, because I need to be able to make up for all the nonsense on FBA, the lost shipments, the returns, the BS excuses for why they're returning it, getting brand new items, opening it, enjoying it for 2 months, sending it back. I mean, I'm just being 100% honest with you guys. I'm at a point now where I have no patience left for the nonsense. I have no patience left for selling people the dream and telling people it's going to be so easy. It's not. It's not. It's hard work. And you've got to understand that there's a lot of challenges now. So, I mean, there's a limit on returns, but if they want to get a return, they could. It's ridiculous now. Robert says, yeah, due to these scams, it's really wise to slowly increase your average selling price. If you start with 1,000 capital, don't start with $100 buy cost items. Start small and slowly increase it. This way, if you get scammed, you won't notice it or it won't burn. Exactly. You want to build up to it. All Things Happy says, I've had 0% returns and scams on Facebook Marketplace for years now. I don't know how lucky I am. Lots of cash and meetups, but I live in the best spots. That's perfect. That's great. So I already talked about that. Number 7, double down on replens. Guys, the reason why I'm able to have a lot of success on Amazon now and how I'm able to keep my account clean is I'm focusing on selling 10 to 20 brands, right? There's 10 to 20 brands that I sell a ton of. Now, I just kind of pulled that number out of my you-know-what. I don't know how many total brands I'm selling, but it's a small amount of brands. But I'm really doubling down on probably 100 replens, right? 100 ASINs that I sell over and over and over again. So if you want to do eBay to Amazon, or you're going to do thrift stores, so on and so forth, you have to understand that it's becoming riskier and riskier to experiment with new products, new brands, new ASINs that you've never sold before. So as you grow your business, focus on selling the ASINs that work. Okay. If you sell a DVD for $80, go resource it again, flip it again. If you sell a certain electronic or an office supply or a specific book and you sell it, go replenish that inventory, right? I use a software called Replen Catcher that I've developed where I essentially upload all of the products that I want to flip into this software, and then it searches eBay all day long, and we just consistently replenish those products over and over again. So the more you sell a brand or an ASIN, the more comfortable that you can be with the sell-through rate, right? Is it going to give you IP complaints, right? Or the brand's going to come after you? Are you selling it for what you think you're going to sell it for? Is the buy box rotating? Are you making a good profit? So in my business, I'm selling a lot of the same stuff over and over again. Now, the stuff that I sell, is it the best? No, it's just the stuff that I sell. If I was to compare my store with 200 other eBay to Amazon flipper stores, we're probably all selling some of the same items, but everybody has their own niches, their own categories, their own products. But one of the things that I've really doubled down on over the last couple of years is focusing on replens. What's a replen? A replen is an item that you've sold before in the past. Okay. So when I sell an item, like for example, say you're going to thrift stores and stuff and you're looking to expand to eBay to Amazon, start looking at the items that you've sold before from thrift stores for like $40, $50, $60, $70. Go into Replen Catcher, upload that ASIN, and have Replen Catcher monitor that item for when it comes about at 50, 60, 70%, or make best offers, and just replenish that item. Because as you sell an item over and over again, you gain more confidence in that product, that it's going to keep you safe and that it's going to sell for a good profit. So stop worrying about getting ungated. This is the number one objection that I hear from people all the time. I don't want to sell on Amazon. I don't want to do eBay to Amazon because I'm restricted in everything. That's good. You're restricted in everything because you don't need to be ungated in everything. You need to be ungated in 3 to 5 solid brands. And I shared examples, before, but you don't have to be ungated in 150 different brands. If you get ungated in Lego, if you get ungated in Brother, if you get ungated in Kohler, just as an example, with Kohler, they've been freaking sending me letters lately, threatening me. So maybe not Kohler, but Disney or Star Wars, right? Marvel, like Hasbro. If you could just get ungated in DVDs in general, right? Over time, as you sell more and more DVDs, they're going to, naturally ungate you in more of the different, brands within DVDs, because you get ungated in DVDs doesn't mean you're going to be able to sell Universal or sell this or that. But similar to books, they'll start to auto ungate you. But stop worrying about, how do I get ungated in 1,000 brands? That is not something that you need to do, right? Takeaway number 8, you need to know your true net profit. And I'm curious here, who here is using Seller Board? So this is my exact Seller Board screenshots that I took this morning. Just ignore today because I haven't put in my cost of goods for today, but you can look at yesterday. Yesterday I sold 65 items for $7,136. Made $2,300 in gross profit after expenses, returns, different things. I made over $2,000 in net profit on those flips just yesterday. You can see the last 30 days, over $26,000 net profit. Guys, I highly recommend getting Seller Board. If you're looking to scale to 6 figures and beyond, you've got to know your numbers. I feel like I am the only freaking Amazon content creator who shares their Seller Board numbers. Guys, if you're in my eBay to Amazon masterclass group, every Friday I break down my Seller Board. I break down what I spent, how much was my profit, how much was my returns. I've shared weeks where I don't make any money, right? Who here knows any YouTubers who are sharing their actual Seller Board information like me? Nobody, because I don't even know if these guys are making money. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. Maybe I'm an egomaniac, but I feel like if I'm going to, be a content creator and share, that I should share my actual numbers. And maybe there'll be a day where I'm not making money and I'll share that too. Maybe there's going to be a day where I get kicked off. Maybe there's going to be a day where I quit or give up. Who knows? But I'm selling, I'm doing this. I'm going to share my numbers. But yeah, Robert says, I know lots, but their net and gross isn't always the same. I don't know any. Could somebody name somebody? Please name somebody in the Amazon community, maybe the book selling community or the eBay to Amazon community. Like I'm talking our community, like people who are doing like RA and thrifting. I don't see anybody sharing their Seller Board. I see people sharing their go-to lister, but your go-to lister screenshot is just your gross profit. That doesn't include any of your indirect expenses. That doesn't include your VA costs, your prep fees. That doesn't include your returns. That doesn't include anything. That's just your gross profit. My gross profit on Go-To Lister says like $320,000 right now. I don't understand why nobody is sharing their actual numbers. I don't get it. Nobody does it. I'd love to know who's doing it. Seller Board's like $20 a month. And you don't see me sharing an affiliate link, but you got to know your numbers, guys. This was a rude awakening when I first got Seller Board because I realized, holy snappers, I'm not making as much money as I thought. Seller Board will break down your return rate, how many returns you're getting, how much money you're losing, your return rate per ASIN. It is a nasty wake-up call. I would love to see even a lot of the sellers in the community who think they're making so much money. And that's why I respect Corey Ganem. I troll him a little bit in the group, and it's not him I'm trolling. It's the wholesale community that I'm trolling because these guys show the biggest numbers. Same with traditional online arbitrage sellers, the biggest numbers. But, they don't share their, their net profit And even then, show me your Amex card. I'm going to send some screenshots of my Capital One Spark card. I just paid it off. I don't think a lot of these guys are even paying off their credit cards. Yeah. So here's an example. So you can see, the last 30 days here. And this is a little different than, if you look at like your Amazon seller account or GoToLister, because some of them like include like your cancellations and different things like that. But this is probably like 99% accurate. I did 127,000 in sales approximately from October 19th to November 17th. $7,966 in freaking refunds. That's brutal, right? Some of those I'm actually going to claw back as income because some of them are sellable and some are unsellable. I paid $25,000 to Jeff Bezos the last 30 days. I spent $61,561 on the $1,127, 1,127 items that I sold. I paid $5,938 in indirect expenses, almost $400 to bookkeeping and taxes. The prep center, that's not accurate. It was actually probably closer to 1,500. So that's why I was saying this is 99% accurate. I have to update that. About $200 in tools, $4,500 in VAs because I had some bonuses and incentives that I had to pay out to my team. Like I said, when I win, I make sure my team wins. There's a lot of scumbags out there who, they've got people in the Philippines making, $3 an hour and you're hitting record numbers and your team is suffering in the Philippines trying to take care of their team and, or take care of their family. And you're making a ton of money and not helping out your team. That is nasty right there. Right. I've had team members recently having their kids in the hospital issues. And I don't talk a lot about this, but I've paid hospital bills. I take care of my team. Why are you going to win? And you're in America and you're winning and making all this money. And I get it. Like you're making a lot more money, but you got your team, you're paying them $5 an hour and you're going to hit record numbers and not take care of your team. That's bullshit. I don't like that at all. But you could see here with, Seller Board, you can see my refund rate was almost 12%. Oh my God. 65% of my returns were unsellable. I'm going to have to liquidate those. My net margin came out to about 20, almost 21%. 43% ROI actualized after all the, all the indirect expenses, so on and so forth. But Seller Board is necessary, but your favorite guru is not going to show you this. And most of the Amazon sellers out there aren't going to do this because they're just living off of, well, my bank account seems okay. That's why they're never going to hit 6 figures in profit, 6 figures in sales, because they're living in la la land. This is where I rant even more than I'm already ranting. Stop listening to what most people in the Amazon community are saying. I'm going to try to say this politically correct without getting myself canceled. Most Amazon sellers are broke. Most Amazon sellers are a joke. I'm not talking about the people who are watching this right now. I'm not talking about people in the eBay to Amazon masterclass community. I'm not talking about the BookMine E to A flippers. I'm not even talking about a good deal of the thrifters who are just, doing it for a side hustle. There's a lot of people with very loud voices in the Amazon community who have very loud opinions, and they are absolutely broke. If you want to make 6 figures profit per year, start networking with the winners. Okay. There's a lot of losers in the Amazon community space who, I don't know how to say it, they've been doing the same thing over and over again since 2018. Most of them are unwilling to change. Most of the Amazon community is unwilling to try anything new. Most of the people on Amazon who have been selling back in 2018, 19, 20, 21, they're gone. They've quit. They've given up. They don't even sell on the platform anymore, but they'll make videos about Amazon. They'll share opinions about Amazon. They'll criticize other Amazon sellers, and they're not even in the game. The majority of the Amazon community is continuing to do what worked in 2018. We're in 2025, moving into 2026. It is a completely different game. It is a completely different jungle. You have got to be a lion in the jungle now to make money on Amazon. And again, I hate to say it, a lot of my YouTuber friends, including myself, we're incentivized to blow smoke up your ass because we have softwares, we have courses, we have programs. But the reality is, if you're going to get involved in Amazon nowadays in 2025, you've got to have thick skin. You've got to be willing to learn. You've got to be willing to think outside the box. You've got to know your numbers. You've got to be diligent. You've got to work your butt off. And people don't want to hear about this anymore. In 2025, people want to only know, how can I make $10,000 profit in the next 60 days? I don't want to risk any time. I don't want to risk any money. I want to be able to scale super fast. I want to be 100% sure that this is going to happen, that there's no risk, that it's just going to work out perfectly. And I'll tell you right now, if that's what you're looking for, Amazon is not the place for you. And I know people, I'm going to have friends of mine message me behind the scenes saying, Steve, what are you doing? Why are you saying this? Why are you sharing this? Like, you're not encouraging people. Guys, there's enough encouragement in the community. The reality is now you have got to really, really work hard to be successful on Amazon nowadays. Business is hard. Business comes with risk on Amazon. Amazon's changing their rules all the time now. I mean, stop looking for a quick buck and an easy way to get rich. 99.999% of people who make good money on the internet, including Amazon, are busting their ass, and they go through tons of pain before they succeed, right? And, I'll say this, last but not least, expand into new niches and products, right? I think there's a lot of people on Amazon, in the Amazon community, who are they're just in love with only selling books, right? And I think books are great. I love flipping books. If you go on my social media, it's a lot of book selling content, right? On Facebook, on Instagram, because it's the best way to get started. It's the category you're going to be able to sell the most products when you're new. But I think there's a lot of people who could make a lot more money on Amazon if they looked into adding other products as well, not only being a bookseller. If you're crushing it with books, if you've got a honey hole, if you're killing it with BookMine, if that's what if that's what you love, if you're crushing it, ignore everything I'm saying right now. But I think there's a lot of people who can grow their business much easier if you started adding DVDs to the mix, not only books, but add DVDs. Look into office supplies, look into electronics, look into other products as well. Stop falling in love with the product you're selling and fall in love with the data. Fall in love with the Keepa charts. Fall in love with the ROI. Fall in love with the replens. Fall in love with the profit. There's too many sellers who do the same thing over and over again, and they just don't understand why they keep getting the same results. Who here knows some sellers? Maybe this is you. This was me for quite a few years until I found eBay to Amazon. I was doing the same thing over and over again, traveling all over the state of Connecticut, making money thrifting, but I was like, I want to find a way where I don't have to exchange my time for money. How do I leverage my capital? How do I think outside the box? How do I get products to come to me? How can I get my money to work harder than I have to work? How do I think outside the box? How do I do things differently? How do I find new niches? How do I sell products that are outside the norm, right? How do I do things different? And I'll say it again for the third time. There's too many sellers who do the same thing over and over again and don't understand why they keep getting the same results. So guys, if you're not where you want to be, change things up. Try selling other product niches, experiment, right? Diversify, like Corey is saying, diversify, spread out the risk. For me to be 100% transparent right now, I don't have all my eggs in the Amazon basket, right? For me, I'm a little bit different because I've had a personal brand the last 12 years. I've built Replen Catcher. I've built different softwares, different communities like Reselling Freedom. I've invested in real estate, stocks, crypto, and other businesses. I think right now, I think it would be crazy to have all your eggs in Amazon. That's just me. Again, people are going to reach out to me, content creators. People are going to say, you shouldn't be saying that, Steve. I don't want to make my money not being honest. And I'm in this game. I'm doing this. Diversify. Only invest what you are willing to lose in Amazon, because Amazon's changing a lot of rules. There's definitely risks out there, but there's a lot of money to be made. With all this negativity being said, I'm hitting record sales in my business. I'm hitting record profits. I'm working less than I've ever worked in my entire life with my Amazon business. So with all this being said, you'd probably be thinking this guy's saying all this because he's losing. I'm winning at the highest level that I've ever won on Amazon before, but I'm seeing people lose at the highest rate that I've ever seen before as well. Because I think there's two types of people in this world. I think there's people who, when things get tough, they get tougher. They get stronger. They find ways. They adapt. That's me, right? Like me or not, that's me. That's why I've been in business for 12 years. But I think a lot of people, they're exposed when things get tough. When things get hard, when things get tough, when business changes, when Amazon ups their fees, when things get tough, they're gone. They leave. How many people do you know now? How many of your favorite content creators, right, are jumping to Walmart, or they're jumping to whatnot? Then they jump to eBay. And I'm not criticizing anybody, right? I'm just saying the people who are winning at the highest level, and I'm a small little fish, right? I don't want anyone to think like, wow, Steve thinks he's this ultimate money-making machine. No, I've got a 6-figure business. I'm a small little ant. I'm a nobody, but I'm happy with that. I'm proud of that. But I see a lot of people, they're just giving up, they're quitting, and then they jump to whatnot. And then whatnot has a bunch of issues. And they're like, I'm done with that. And they jump to Walmart. And then Walmart, gates an entire category like they did. And they quit that and they jump on to the next thing. No business is easy. But if you stick through the hard times, there's a lot of money to be made on Amazon. Clay says, I saw the deception all the time from the sellers. It was all about revenue, but there was very little of actual profit, because I don't think any of them are even tracking it. I don't think they're tracking it. Eli says, quick question. Is it possible to use Replay and Catcher to just source through a single store on eBay? Yes, you can do that. You can put in a store and you can search just from that store, Eli. Great question. So guys, if you have any more questions, feel free to let me know. That's pretty much all I've got for today. Hope you guys are doing great. Just want to drop some knowledge, give it to you guys real. Maybe some of you guys don't like my attitude, but I feel like it's refreshing in 2025, having somebody give it to you real, give it to you raw, someone who's actually in the game, somebody who's actually doing it. But, I know I'm not for everybody. So let me know your thoughts, guys, on this video. If you enjoyed this live stream, if you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment. All things happy. I appreciate it. Love it. Hate when people sugarcoat things. Yeah, a lot of people are doing that, or they're just avoiding the tough conversations. I feel like if I get into a business, I want to know the good and the bad. We all know the good with Amazon, right? We all know the good. You're able to sell these products and make money without having to create the products. We're selling, secondhand goods. We're not having to build these brands. We're finding these items. We're selling them. We're leveraging FBA. Amazon picks it, packs it, ships it. You get paid, but nobody talks about the returns, right? Nobody talks about, the cash flow issues. Nobody talks about the rule changes. Nobody talks about the being gated and restricted and this and that. I feel like, I don't know. I don't want to be the type of person anymore. And I don't want to say that this was me, like I was unethical before, but before, like I didn't go so much into this stuff because the rules weren't so brutal. Now it's gotten so brutal on Amazon now and I'm curious, leave a comment down below. What do you think? What would you say to somebody who's brand spanking new to wanting to start Amazon in 2025? Is it still possible to make money for someone who's brand new, starting an account, never sold before? Is it possible? Would you still recommend it? I would still recommend it, but what I would say is you're going to have to give it 6 to 12 months where you're not going to make much money. You're going to have to go through a lot of hoops, video verifications, getting ungated. They're going to hold your money. Excuse me. You're going to have to go through a year of bullshit. But if you get through it, I think the opportunities are really high, but there's still a lot of risks that they take everything away from you. Shane, what up, Shane? Good to see you here. One of my dogs in the house. Eli says, so if I can source one store, will it notify you? I just want to keep that gold mine all to myself. You could set up a filter just for that store. So yeah, you can definitely set up a filter within Replane Catcher just for a specific eBay seller store and source from it. But I wouldn't do that. I don't know why you would only want to source from one seller store. But you can certainly do it. From Cracker Barrel to bitching and whining on YouTube. If we don't engage in the challenges, you will never realize your true potential. And that's it. That's 100% it. So yeah, appreciate you guys. Hope you are doing great. I think that's pretty much all I've got for today. But yeah, hitting record numbers in the business, guys. Just going to ride out the rest of the year. My team's on vacation now, which is great. I mean, they're still working probably 10, 12 hours a week, but I'm going to ride out the rest of the year. Going to let the cash flow pour in because I'm not spending any more money the rest of the year, which is great. And I'm going to be putting some plans together for 2026 because I definitely want to, and I'll probably make another video about this, but I'm going to definitely make some changes to my eBay to Amazon business. Probably going to focus on items that have less returns. I'm going to focus on items that are maybe higher ROI. I'll make a video talking more about that, but I've got some different changes and updates that I need to make to my business. So I'm happy with my business, but it's all about continuing to improve. And I'll make a new video in the future talking more about that. But yeah, guys, appreciate you all. Much love. Thank you so much. Have a blessed day. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.